Hi, welcome to the market alert for Thursday, the 18th of April 2024. So, crude crash saves stocks from CTA slaughter. Bonds bid, but Bitcoin battered. That's what you get when you create an ETF. It gives the government full control, as they can use futures contracts to sell into the market and keep the price down. For the first time all year, it feels like the market is starting to question the strong growth narrative on the back of weaker earnings. And US stocks declined amid tech selling following AMSL's weak earnings report. US-China frictions were stoked after President Biden called for tariffs on Chinese metals to be tripled. Well, that'll go down well. AI gold nuclear war. Bad news for the world, but good news for gold investors. The rally we've seen in the past 6 months is just getting started, I would agree. And yesterday's CPI, inflation falls to its lowest level in 3 years, and Bailey was talking about cutting rates. Well, let's see how well that works going forward. Economic news for today, 1:30 is the first one, and we've got unemployment claims, weekly one, Philly Fed manufacturing index, and existing home sales at 3 p.m. So let's have a look at the markets for yesterday and overnight, and we'll kick off with the Dow. So in the Dow yesterday, more buying coming into the market to support it at the moment. Obviously still a bit of choppiness as the market waits to see what Israel's response is going to be to the attack from Iran at the weekend. Like I say, for me, it's a bit of a no-brainer. It's going to be the weekend when the markets are closed. It makes it look as if it's orchestrated and actually planned, doesn't it? So that the markets aren't disturbed by it. 78% retracement for the Dow at the moment, market remaining in this region and area. And the 30-minute chart, we started off well with the UK inflation numbers yesterday. The market pulled back. Then just before the US opened, we moved higher. As can be seen there, well, actually this spike to the upside is the cash open. And then we had the sell-off. Then we had the V-shaped correction as the market was brought back, and then a bit more profit taking towards the end of the trading session. Meanwhile, overnight prices have moved higher and currently above the DP. They just need to head up and get back above yesterday's high. But do note in the daily chart we're overbought, so lots of selling there as well, and at a fib area as well. In the German DAX, similar picture. We had even more buying coming into the market yesterday, and at the 50 EMA and 89% retracement. So the long side looking fairly good at the moment for the German DAX. On the upside from the last swing, which is only a few days ago, these would be the numbers for the upside. And watch if we do move to the upside that when we get close to 18,140, you're likely to see a bit of resistance there. However, if the 89% retracement is broken, then we start to head down towards these two other lines here. But given that the market's managed to hold so far for the last few days despite the news, then I suspect that the market is likely to be moving back to the upside. Yesterday, this is exactly what happened again on the UK inflation numbers. Back up to the high, double tested this, as you can see, then sailed south with the Dow cash, then back up, and then up on the overnight above the DP and heading back towards the 200 MA, the R1 BRN, and the high there. So there's the resistance to the upside, and if you wanted to see where this was on a more of a micro level, you can see there that the R1 takes into account the 89% retracement area. In the S&P 500, again, a lot of volume at the moment, down at 78% retracement, market up on the overnight. Again, sideways, finding support yesterday despite the bit of the sell-off and the cash opening. Market up initially in the electronic, down with the cash, back up, same picture as the Dow, back, but overnight again just trying to get back above the DP, the 50 EMA, to head back towards those highs there. If we have a look at the daily chart there, we've got the market for the FT, the market's sideways to lower as well, heading into oversold territory, stuck at the 50 EMA, and a bit of buying there as I've just mentioned. And from the high to the low, these would be the potential upside targets for this market. Note that at 50%, you've also got the 50 EMA in this area. In the Intraday market moved lower initially, then loved the CPI numbers, moved higher, double topped, and then traded sideways there before moving back to the upside, coming off the close overnight and not too far off the high of yesterday as well. US dollar showing a bit of weakness, as we can see there, for yesterday and overnight. Interesting that Bitcoin went down along with the dollar, whereas gold is actually going up against the dollar, which is unusual because obviously, as I mentioned before, it should be the other way around, inversely related. So let's have a look at the metals for yesterday. Well, I'm surprised by this, but silver is hanging in there. It's managed to hold at the $28 level for the last couple of days, and even though, despite being pushed to the downside again yesterday, overnight prices are starting to move back to the upside. Yesterday we moved up, and then of course we get the slam as soon as we get the LBMA and the open of the COMEX. The market was slammed back down. Down towards the, well, actually it's an interesting triple bottom here. Let's just have a look at this. We've got there, and that was at 28.10, isn't it? Yeah, 10.5 cents. So a bit of support there for the silver market. It's either it's going to be hammered lower, but I think along with gold, it's going to continue to the move to the upside. There you can see back above the 5 MA overnight, but back below it yesterday at the close. So interesting there. And then we've got the 30-minute chart. We were up, we came back, we did a full 100% retracement, just over slightly, and then we get the slam in the afternoon that we're getting at the moment when the US market opens. You've noticed that the times have changed. Normally 1:30, now it's 2:30 when we get the slam at the moment in the metals. However, in the gold-silver ratio, silver seems to be holding well because it's showing red at the moment, which means it's moving to the upside faster than gold in percentage terms. But we're still above 83 and way above where we should be. We've been down to, as I've said before, in September 23, we went down to 78 before we moved all the way back up to 92. So got a bit on the downside there yet that we can move to if it can break these sort of levels down at the 81, just over 81 level there. Right, let's have a look at yesterday's markets. Still choppy, but see how they reacted to the UK CPI numbers and how they're trading overnight. So yesterday morning we got the CPI numbers, which came out lower than forecast, 3.2 instead of 3.4. Market responded initially with the market moving down, but as soon as the cash market opened, prices rallied to the upside, up to the DP, and there's your first trade, and the market then moving above this. Unfortunately, I was at the hospital, had an appointment, so didn't manage to get this trade, and you can see prices continuing to move there to the upside. Nice move before we then see the market attempt an R1 and then up to the high during the aftermarket for the morning. Once the high was hit, the market was back, bit of selling, and then traded sideways. So let's move on to the mid-morning where the price is retreated and all the way down to the 200 MA before we get a market moving back towards the R1 area there, which became a bit of resistance in the afternoon. You can see the market at the high struggling there. Initially, prices came back. We had a short, and at this point here, the market then decided to move lower, which you see there, and then another retracement back to the high. We had a potential buy signal that wasn't filled as the stop was hit first, and unfortunately we didn't get another sell signal, which is a shame because the market then fell out of bed with the US market all the way down to the DP there, and then bounced off this, but then you can see we had another sell signal there down to the close, and the market then bouncing back. So 3 trades there yesterday, 3 winners. Just a shame we didn't get another sell signal with the open of the Dow there in that first hour. Let's have a quick look at the overnight, see what's going on. Well, so far the market's moving back to the upside. No surprise when you see what's in the daily chart with all the volume over the last few days. Obviously aiming to get above yesterday's high. Watch the R1 as well, and all of the averages are in the right alignment there and expanding, moving to the upside. Obviously a bit of a problem here at this BRN. If we just expand that back, we can see that we've got a bit of resistance there at the moment, but in the daily chart attempting to move back up again, as we've seen already in the more detailed chart of the German DAX, the market bouncing off that 50 EMA. Okay, that's it for this one. Let's see what happens during today, and I suspect that there won't be anything happening with the war until Saturday morning when you wake up and see the news headlines. So a bit of a straightforward day, I suspect. Okay, that's it for this one. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.